everybody, and welcome back to Herbie's Garage. Today we're on the 2002 GL1800 Goldwing, and it's time to bleed the brakes, and I'm going to go through the book sequence. We'll start off with the front brakes, and then we'll go to the back. I've got everything set up. I just want to show you that I'm going to be doing this by myself using this Motion Pro hydraulic bleeder. And it says in the instructions that we have to prime it first. So I want to show you the bleeder kit. It's a pretty simple little tool. All it is a couple hoses and a one-way valve. You can see the arrow is pointing to the discharge end. That's what it says. You want the flow going away from the bike, and you have to prime this first. So in order to prime it, you have to do just like you do on normal brakes. You have to pump the lever and open the bleed valve and then close the bleed valve before you let the lever go until you start seeing fluid coming out on the discharge end. Then you can just pump it and pump it and pump it until it's all the way cleaned out. First thing we're going to do is take this cap off of the reservoir. Fortunately, the screws are nice and easy to come out. You have to be really careful of this brake fluid on your painted surfaces. I'll try to get as much brake fluid off as I can, and I'll set it over here on my cover. Peel this off. Wow, that brake fluid is full. Full of the top, and it looks like it's got moisture or something in it. All right, let's go ahead and take this little floaty deal out. Yeah, this brake fluid's old. You could tell by the color of it. I'll wipe this off too. Then we'll take the brake fluid tester. Now if it's good, it'll be down in this area here, and if it's bad, it goes all the way up. So let's check it. I figured it's bad. Needs to be replaced. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pulling this lever and opening the drain valve, and I'm going to keep the lever pulled and all the way against the hand grip until I get my bleeder valve filled up. Then I'll shut it, and I'll keep doing that until I get that whole line and bleeder filled up, that Motion Pro bleeder, and then I'll just pump it all out. So now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to get onto the bleeder valve, and I'm going to squeeze the lever, and I'm going to open the bleeder. Now see, it hasn't come all the way through yet. Let me show you. It hasn't come all the way through the bleeder yet with one pull. So I had to tighten back the bleeder, and then we're going to redo this again until we finally start getting fluid coming out of this end. So I'm going to pull, open the bleeder. Close the bleeder. I'm going to pull, open the bleeder. Close the bleeder. I'm going to pull, close the bleeder. I'm going to pull. Okay, now I'm getting brake fluid out down at the bottom. So I'm just going to start squeezing it out. I could have cleaned this out and sucked all this fluid out, but this is just so easy to do. Okay, I'm not going to go any farther because I'm right at the top of that port. So now I'm just going to take a rag, one of these lint-free rags, and soak up the rest of it. Get some of that dirt out of it at the same time, or rust. We want to make sure this is nice and clean. I'm going to kind of clean that window up. I'll make a little thing to stick in the hole there. Got to make sure to get down all the nooks and crannies. Okay, now I'm going to be using some DOT4 brake fluid. That's what this calls for. This brake bleeder that I have on here is going to make it really easy to do this job for one person. You know, I just have to run out all the brake fluid. I'm going to try not to let it get below that port, because if it gets below that port, then it'll suck in air. But that Motion Pro bleeder down there is preventing it from sucking any air in. It holds pressure in it. When I first started pulling this, I could tell that it had resistance in it. Now it's feeling real good and smooth. And it looks like my fluid down there is coming out clean. So I'm going to go ahead and close the bleeder valve. All right, now that I've got that primed, I'm going to go ahead and run this fluid through this side. Fill it back up. All right. I think we've got all pretty good clean fluid now. Let me go look. And I'll take my rubber and my plastic and I'll put them together. I'll drop my float in there. Then I'll put my rubber and plastic on. Clean this lid up a little bit. Put the writing facing the rider. And we'll go ahead and put the screws in it. Kind of go back and forth. Run it down evenly. Should be good. In case you're wondering about my setup, I just have a 1-gallon jug. I cut an X in the top in the lid, and I got my hose jammed in there. So now we're going to go ahead and tighten this up since we've got it bled out. This little bleeder valve makes it so easy. I really like it. Now I'm going to take this off and see, it pretty much stays primed. The fluid's all the way up to there. So I'm going to try to keep it straight up so it doesn't tip over and come out. Then I'll put my cap on. Now in order to bleed these front brakes, you do the right upper first, and then the left, which is what this is, lower. And then that takes care of the front. Then we'll start on the back brake. And it feels like it's got good pressure to it. So we're done with the front. Now we'll go ahead and start on the back one. I'll take this off. Won't need it anymore. Put it over there. And we'll take this cover off. Over here we'll expose the brake fluid reservoir for the rear brake. Now we're going to be taking this cap off a lot, and it's hard to manipulate in there. So we're going to take this reservoir out. It's got one bolt holding it. One 8mm head bolt. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to be able to do this. Looks like the fluid is getting a little bit low. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to check to see if it's bad or not, which I can tell by looking at it that it is. We'll take our brake fluid tester. I'll turn it where you can see it. And we'll check it. Yep, it's bad too. So we need to change this as well. Now all I'm going to do on this is I'm just going to dump this out. I'm going to clean this reservoir out real good. And I'll take me a nice clean rag and clean all the gunk out of the bottom of it. There, that's good and clean. I'll just wipe off the cap a little bit with a rubber. It's got a plastic ring in there too. Okay, I'm going to set this aside until we're done. And then we're going to put fresh fluid in it to fill it up. You can see it gurgling a little bit. I emptied the hose out apparently too, so we got to bleed it all out anyway. I don't think it'll be a big deal. I'll let it finish gurgling before I go ahead and start bleeding it. So I'm going to give it just a couple minutes. I got this from the book, and this is the method that you're supposed to use to change your brake fluid or to bleed it. I've already done the front right upper and the front left lower for the handbrake. Now all of these are for the foot brake. So we're going to start off with the front left upper with the foot brake. I'm going to try to film as much of this as I can. This is going to be difficult. We'll come around over here to the left front, the upper bleed screw. As you can see, it's still primed. So I'm just going to open this up. I'll crack it. Now all that fluid is going to go down into my jug. And I'll come back over here and I'll just pump the fluid out. I'll get down here where we can see it a little better. I'll pump it out with my hand. I'm just going to keep pumping it until I pump it down enough to run that fluid out. You don't want to get below your hose. So I'm going to go ahead and top this back off. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close this bleeder valve. And then we're going to move it over to the lower front. Okay, now we're going to attach it to the lower right front. So we'll go ahead and loosen the bleeder on this one. That should be enough. Looks like it's got good clean fluid coming out of it. Okay, so now I'm gonna now I'm gonna go ahead and close the bleeder valve. All right, we're done with the front. Well, at least these. Still have the anti-dive valve to do. Okay, now I'm gonna loosen this bleeder in the lower rear. Fills that hose up because it kind of bled out a little bit. Didn't, so let's tighten it back up. All right, I'll pump it back up. All right, now I'm just going to pump it out. I got it primed back up. Okay. That one's done. Okay, now I'm on the anti-dive valve bleed screw. So let's go ahead and pump that up. Yeah, that brake fluid looks dirty. I'm going to keep running some through. I ran the whole bottle through. Now I'm going to fill it back up and do it again. Okay, so now we got clean, clear fluid coming out. So we're done with that one. So we got one more to go. So now we need to put this up here at the top. Get that top bleeder. And we'll break this loose. All right, I'm going to push down on the pedal. Okay, I'm going to push down the pedal again. I don't think I'm getting anything out of that one. I'm going to have to take that off. Take that bleeder out, I think. Yeah, that bleeder port is plugged up. You can see right there. That hole right there is where it's supposed to bleed through, and it's plugged up. So we're going to clean this out. All right, looks like that bleeder port is cleaned out good enough now. That should bleed out. It's loose enough. All right, I'm going to push down on it. Okay, I might have to tighten it. Okay, I'm going to push down on it. Boy, this one's really bad too. I just got to make sure that I got this primed good before I go up there and really start bleeding it. Okay, I'm going to press down on it. Okay, now I'm going to bleed it all out. We'll fill it back up again. This will be the third time. It's definitely flushing it out better. Brake pedal feels better, easier to push. Looks like the brake fluid coming out's clean. Okay, so we'll go ahead and tighten this up. Take this off and we'll be done. Alright, so now I'm going to make sure that it's full on the full mark. I think just a little more, not much. That's enough. Now we'll put the cap on it. Tighten that up. I'm going to move this back into position. Okay. Good enough. I'll wipe all this off. See if we got a good firm pedal. Yep. Got a good firm pedal. Front brake's engaging and letting go good. It's got a good firm lever as well. I'm going to try something. I'm going to hit the foot brake down there and not touch this and see if the front wheel will stop. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to try it. Yep. Everything's working correct. All right, now if you want to know the procedure for this, if you don't have a book, I shared this in another video, but I'm going to go ahead and share it in this one too, since you may not be watching one of the other videos. You want to start off on the front brake and on the brake lever, and you do the front right upper, then the front left lower, and then that takes care of your front master cylinder. The rest of it is going to be with your foot brake. And you have to do the front left upper, the front right lower, the rear lower, the front anti-dive valve, and then the rear upper. It's not really that difficult. That Motion Pro tool, first time I've used it, had a person recommend that to me, and I appreciate it. I tried it. I thought, well, you never know. You know, it might be something pretty great. And it did work really well. One thing I didn't like about it is it would lose a little bit of its prime whenever you would take it off and move it to the next one. I don't know, maybe you don't have to reprime it every time. I think there's probably enough left in the tube to where when you press down on your brake, it'll fill it full, and then whenever you let loose, you won't have any air. I don't know. I really didn't want to take a chance, so I tried to keep mine primed up. But that's up to you, but I would recommend that Motion Pro tool if you have to do this by yourself. Personally, I like doing it with an assistant. I make sure that it's done the right way that way. But there are times when you don't have somebody there to help you, and that tool really comes in handy. Appreciate you coming along and watching. And don't forget to take care of your brakes. It's a very important part of your motorcycle, your brakes and your tires. There's a lot of important things on your bike, but your brakes and your tires are probably ranking right up there in the top. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.